5:30 or 5:42. It's order 42. Have a quorum. Do we have any citizens to say anything? I don't think so. I emailed you guys the minutes. If you guys want to go through them, we can. If you want to table that, we could do that. It's the committee's call. What do you want to do? It's already 5:45.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Now it's up to you guys, Mr.
Okay.
Harris and company.
All right, great. Yeah, so Jay's got the document. Lizzie will join us as she's able to, and Fletch is here too, but also sometimes has to be muted. They're at home with the small ones. Tonight we're going to give you some changes and updates based on the last meeting last week, your feedback. So I think we can fly through that, or we can just move through this. And okay, keep going. So okay. So this is the purple logo brand identity with the script in it. And Fletch, if you're here and can talk, feel free.
Yeah, I think that this I think the only real thing that we did to this one versus last time is, we took a look at the cogs to make sure that those are not Genoa alike, and they are not. They're a good balance between cog and sun ray, and then we just thickened up those underline and the strokes above and below Hampshire just to make them the same weight as the script and sort of tie it all together a little better.
Let me know if you want to change slides.
Yeah.
Next is good. And just a reversed out application with tagline. Okay, next. Social media post. One thing I wanted to point out on this one is, in the logo versions before, we have the established and then the year. I think in some cases, social media posts, for example, I think that can drop away to make things a little cleaner and simpler, because those are going to be smallish. So that's what you see here. It's the reverse logo with no established date as part of that graphic. So the purple business card, and then the next screen has just a way to bring other colors into the mix. This is one way we could do that. Next one. So this is a fake wayfinding sign, but this gives you an example of how we could use a different set of secondary colors. Maybe it's this sort of this nice subtle, slightly earthy blue, and a different purple as the secondary color. Let's see. So this is the second direction, formerly known as Concept C, as we presented last time. And we've got, let's just go through this. This next application. Yeah, I think in the previous version, we didn't have the script in the sample, the applications. So we've got that now here. I think one thing with this script, that social media post on the left, where embrace opportunity, honor tradition, we're sort of flanking it. That works really nicely with this script. I think better than the sans serif that we had before. It's kind of a nice balance, the way those fit together. And a sample wayfinding sign, same design as the previous one, but showing context for a sign, and additional colors. And then we have just a couple. There was wanted to open this up to explore what this might look like, just with some other options on that. Dimensionality, color. Do we need the sun? Does the sun change into a sky, as in number 6? So this just some exploration on this concept. We did try a script for the H for this version, and it looked either like either it didn't look enough like an H, it looked like an FL or a Chinese character, or it looked too much like a Holiday Inn. So I think keeping that sort of strong, simple sans serif for the big H in that second direction makes sense.
Well, I don't mind speaking up tonight and saying I think you did everything we asked you to do. And I think especially with all these colors, we have a lot to choose from. So that's about all I'm going to say till I hear from you, Aaron.
Sorry, I was muted. I was waiting for the end and then I'll give some feedback.
What would you like to be looking at? The two together or?
Oh, what was, it looked like we were on, this is 14 to 17. Is there additional things?
The rest is just other stuff.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
This is it. We can talk here, or we can talk where we have the colors.
Yeah, and Jay, I think what the group was looking at last time was more in line with, I think, slide 14. In other words, what would we do with that H there, right?
I kind of like on that bottom tier, I'm not saying any of the colors or the background, but the H and even like the top right, the H with the white outline and the solid 3D effect, I thought looks pretty sharp. It helps that H pop.
I like it better than these lines. For some reason, that
Yeah.
still bothers me.
I like the lines above the script and below the script.
I like number 2.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with number 2, but I like the line underneath the script as well.
Yeah, I do like that line underneath as well.
So like 2 with the line underneath the script, I'd be good with.
Oh, you mean the double line like this?
Like in 5 and 6.
Yeah. And you like this H better than the one with the white outlines?
No, I kind of like the white outline too, because it does give it some definition. So if you do put it like as far as a post or something like that, or use it on a business card, it gives it its own. It gives it definition. But I do like. I don't know how you would do that. Well, I guess you could. If you have like the 3, if you have like the 3H as opposed to the 2H, with a line on the top and the bottom, you know what I mean? Like.
So it would just be 3 with a line on the bottom.
Well, I don't know if Toby likes that color purple. What do you think of the differences between the color purples, Toby?
Well, I'm having a problem. Number 3 is fine with a line underneath the Hampshire, but it's hard to see the 3D back of the H, which I'm assuming is purple. But on number 2, the purple really pops.
Yeah, number 2 is a brighter purple in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toby, I'd be good with it, like the color change of what you're seeing. I don't see it because I can't tell that close of colors. The white for me is more the white outline. The only reason why I really do like that added, and then we can change to that background purple that you like, is that for an accessibility wise, if somebody has a trouble with colors, it does add a visual break to highlight a 3D side of it versus somebody potentially blending and having the H just look like an odd shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand. I'm good with that.
But I do, Toby, I do like that. If you're saying that number 2, the color scheme of number 2 is what you like, and then Mike, you want the underline. If we can keep the outline from 3, then I think we can blend those 3 into an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you'd be able to use.
A couple of questions. Are we? This is definitely the one we're going to focus on, as opposed to the one on the left here, right?
Well, no, I think we were just iterating on that one right now.
All right. Then the only other, then I would ask, nobody wants to keep the circle in the back at this point.
I think
for some reason, you look at like number 5. When I look at that, I want to go like buy a carton of milk. I don't know why. It looks like it could be on looks like it could be a Hampshire dairy.
Well,
I kind of like the colors over here and with the light blue in the back.
Well, I honestly think that, you know, if you pick a logo like number 2, right? If you pick it and you get the H and the lines and the way that you want it with the colors, you could put whatever color you want behind it. I mean, it gives you a lot of flexibility.
True.
This is it's a boy reveal party.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but seriously, you'd be able to tailor the logo for, you know, for whatever you needed it to be. Like, as an example, if you think that it's going to be washed out on whatever you're going to put it on, whether it be a business card or a picture, let's say, like as an example, the number 6 would make a good Facebook post, right? But that's not to say with the changes that we're going to make to number 2, that wouldn't be a good logo to put over the top of a photo either. It gives it some definition rather than just white. So I don't, as far as like the actual logo, I think that like 2 with the modification, that's our logo. And then whatever iteration we wanted to do as far as color or something, we could do whatever you wanted behind it.
Okay, so I guess my question, Jay, would be to John, Lizzie, and Fletcher.
mm-hmm.
What is there a reasoning behind a color, half moon or whatever you want to call that, behind an H? Is there a reason, something that I'm missing as far as marketing?
No, I think from, embrace opportunity and honor tradition. So it's just another element. The yellow on the left would be sort of, sunny and bright. The one in the middle would, again, it's a burnt orange sort of sky or horizon with, again, sort of the idea of the lines representing something positive, something happy, and then on the right, as Fletch said, more of a blue sky versus a yellow or orange sky.
Okay,
so representing opportunity, yeah. So
I just didn't know if when you're creating logos or anything, if any color scheme behind it helps grab it more or not.
Well, I will say that, again, I think it's we should always have some sort of complementary color to the primary, and especially, with the primary color being a purple, something that I would complement it. I think in this case is, where Jay was with those business cards, they pop, but they also, they I don't know, soften it a little bit. Purple's a pretty darn strong color, so I think we want to give it some visual pop, but also some visual relief. The yellow is still really underutilized, and again, we've tried to give you with that blue, especially. It's like a little more soothing, than that really bold purple. But I will say, guys, that hearing the first part of your conversation, I like everything you said about 2 and 3, and I think keeping this a little bit more simple and clean is gonna help establish it, and it's gonna make it easier to use in multiple applications.
Yeah, so three would be great if the back of the 3D was the color of the back of 2.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Yeah, I think that'll be nice.
And a line underneath as well.
Could you do that with the white separate line that Aaron likes as well?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Fletch, but yes.
Yeah, I think that'll work nicely.
So are you okay with that, or you prefer it without the line, the white line?
No, that's fine. I like the line underneath Hampshire, like Mike said.
Yeah, the double line.
And it's clean. It's I think it's a strong it's a strong logo.
Do we have this with a with the tagline, the slogan anywhere? Here it is on the left.
Yeah, and for next presentation, if it's tomorrow, we can have these updates to it, we'll pull this version out and get it down to, 2 and 3 with the revisions that you guys just talked about.
Okay, so one question for you artists. Would 2 or Aaron, what would happens if we replace the white with black?
I think you lose some of that pop,
Okay.
especially if you're going a darker background on the 3D effect.
Okay.
I think the white adds a contrast to it, especially if what you could do, Toby, is if we did what's called a knockout version, which is where it's actually the font would be white and the background would be dark, then you could do like a black outline.
Okay.
I don't know, John, thoughts on that?
Yeah, we could have that ready for tomorrow. Also, some sort of knockout version. Whether it'll, like you said, you're gonna have, we'll have to see what exactly works, but you are gonna want to see it, and we've got it in the earlier versions too. So,
right. But yeah, Toby, it may. I mean, that may be an option too. I'm making an assumption right now that it would be a little hidden because I'm thinking of the lines between the two colors on 2. But
yeah, I would agree with you, Aaron.
Okay. No, then leave it white. That's fine. I was just asking.
I do like without the taller background too. Like for 4, 5, and 6, it makes the top white lines of the H really prominent and makes the H almost stand out more than the background 3D effect. But when you get up to 3, because it's white on a white backdrop, you lose that, which is actually a nice feature, I think. It doesn't make that forward H or the front face of it so prominent. It makes it more seem, I don't know, kind of an artistic version versus we highlighted an H and added some 3D effect. You know what I mean?
There's actually some interesting shapes right here if you consider that. This is almost floating. This is kind of floating. Actually, all 3 of those pieces are just really floating in there.
Yep.
On a white background. Does it look different on a different background? I don't think we have that one on any other background.
No, but we'll do that for.
Well, here's a blue that doesn't have the white lines. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 3 has depth, so it could be a building, it could be vertical. If you look at it from a plan view, it could be roads. I like you said, that little right angle down there is the hint of an arrow, sort of up and away, and that that straight line on the top of the H again is pointed upward. So I think there's a lot of depth to it, and it looks classy. That was I guess where I continued to struggle with number 1 was I thought it popped, but I feel like 2 and particularly 3 just feels a little bit more classy, elegant, contemporary yet timeless. I think it's going to wear well.
I'm looking at these again, and now that I look at it, it's kind of an optical illusion. These have the same floating L's, but they just look different.
They do.
We'll see them.
They do. Yeah.
Do we want to talk
about
about the other one? Or
other
2 concepts tomorrow night?
Can we go back to the other concept real quick so that we can talk through that one too? This one, Toby, Mike, what are your thoughts on this one?
I think we need
the screen's changing. Which one? Oh, okay.
The one with the cursive with the sun/cog and the waves and.
There are really no alternatives for this one, right? It's just one logo.
I like number 3 better than those.
I think that one looks too similar to what we have.
Number 3 looks like we actually did some work on this, and it looks clean, it looks strong, it looks new.
So B with the number 3 treatment is where both of you guys are on that one.
Yeah, with the line below.
To the background, the white outline, and the line below it. The changes that we've said, but that would be your guys' choice as going to the board with our number 1.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I think that's where we're at then.
Do we see any point in suggesting a number 2 to give them a second choice, or we just want to go, full steam ahead and say this is it?
Jay, what we should do is submit number 3 as our choice with our changes on that, and then have 2 as a backup and misspell Hampshire.
You know how to do presentations, Toby.
I was thinking the alternative, that we go with some big introductory music, crank it up a little loud, and then let John come in with his intro.
Nice. I think, Jay, if we did number 3 with the changes, and then John, we had a variety, like we should not show anything outside of the changes that we just discussed. Not like, here's one version, here's another,
Agreed.
this is it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here are all the ways it can be applied: a wayfinding sign, the business card, the social media, maybe a letterhead, whatever those things may be, so they see the applications. And if the feedback comes back that the board's like, this is absolutely horrible and we don't want this, then you could have in the back pocket, well, here is the secondary choice that we have. But I don't know, Jay, what's your thought? Present this, and if they like it, great, and have the secondary one if needed, or don't even have the secondary.
I don't disagree with what Toby said. Well, I don't know about if he was being I'm pretty sure he was kidding about the spelling, but were you suggesting, Toby, that we do keep the other one present them both, or just keep it in our hip pocket?
Keep it in the back pocket, pull it out
Yeah.
if number 3 with our changes goes absolutely down the drain, which it won't.
Yeah, I think it's really grown on me after a couple times now.
Yeah, I think it would look good. I think it'll look good on a door of a truck. I think it'll look good on a hat. I think it'll look good on a business card.
Fletch, you want to make sure whoever's doing the graph, you want to make sure you have clear instructions on what they were talking about, changes to number 3.
Yeah, I've got it. That all makes sense.
Yeah, and for the applications, don't know if we'll get to letterhead, but we'll definitely take, Jay, if you scroll back up, we'll do social media post, we'll do the wayfinding, and we'll do the business card, right? So we'll do number 3 with the changes discussed on the business card. So
would that logo work on these multicolored business cards?
It might. There might be a way to do that.
It just adds a lot of color to the presentation. I think it just jazzes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think, though, we would want, like, okay, who's scrolling? I'm getting dizzy. Let's go back. Go back to the business card with the logo we're talking about on it. There we go. Rather than seeing a square in the middle like
you could
this,
just do the knockout.
dark, it'd be good to see a knockout version of, even if it's Hampshire and white, or some alternate version, so that we can say on a dark background, here's how it could be applied. Because the square on this, I think, does not look good at all. It almost looks like, I don't know. It doesn't scream professional to me.
Would you use that for an icon, though, the square, or not?
Yeah, but you're not putting an icon on a business card.
No, I just meant as a separate application. Would you use that as, for the social media post, would you use this?
I think you can make the icon on a social media post like that. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that
Can we go back to that, Jay? Go back to that sign. I would like to see that with the new logo with the changes at the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because our signage in town's just horrible.
Can I, as long as we're all making requests, can I make one?
No paw prints.
No. And that's actually what I'm bringing up. On that social media post example, can you find another social media post to include, please?
Meaning,
Meaning,
Sure.
don't pick
Not a
one from
picture of a
Hampshire High School.
student.
don't put the high school in there. Okay.
That's too much purple. If we're gonna,
Okay.
I understand what you're saying about identity and all that. So let's find another post of ours. I mean, we've got plenty of them, just like our page. Pick one and then superimpose put the new logo down to the bottom.
Okay.
Or even like up at the top where it says Village of Hampshire, Illinois, change it to our new logo up there as well. I want it to look like legit, because it loses the effect when you're looking at a post that we're sharing on behalf of the high school.
Yep. Sounds good.
One thing I don't want us to lose is let's remember that we still have to pitch the Embrace Opportunity, Honor Tradition too.
Right.
Right.
At least 2 or 3 people on the board will not have seen that ever. Eric and Christine haven't seen anything. I have shared a couple of these previous graphics with Jeff. So how do you plan to present the, I'm sorry, it's not a slogan. What do we call that?
Tagline.
Tagline. How do you plan to present that and the logo? You want to bring it all together at once? You want to build up to it? How?
Normally we'll lead with that. You know, tonight we didn't do that because you guys are, you know,
We've heard it 17 times.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's on board, right? So I think what we'll do for tomorrow is go through the process just a little bit, you know, and have a few front end slides and say, this is the process that we went through. This is how we proceeded. This is what we did. And what we have for you tonight is the recommended tagline and positioning, and then Embrace Opportunity, Honor Tradition, and the recommended logo or graphic identity.
So you kind of have your standard final presentation format that you'll use.
Well, I don't know that there's anything that's quite standard, but we definitely want to make sure that everybody knows that we put this through its paces, right? There's been not only meetings with the PR committee, but obviously with staff and then with the EDC and there's been a lot of input and feedback. And this is where, that the messages around opportunity and tradition, people rallied around. So even at that, the one meeting where visually the visuals, everything kind of went sideways. People were like, yeah, opportunity, tradition, opportunity. And I think Toby is the one who said it. How about embrace? So, and then Aaron said, what if we flipped it? Instead of tradition first, opportunity first. So I think that's.
I'm really not talking about how we, the factory that makes the hot dogs. But what I'm really talking about is how will you, I mean, you only have one slide here because of what we're doing tonight to build up to the first.
Yeah, I think we'll back up and we can send it to you, but there'll be 2 or 3. There'll be a process slide. Here's what we did. Here's
all the various groups that we met with, the chamber.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't forget, we met with all the community leaders, all the staff from the library, the fire protection district, all those people.
Right, exactly.
Now,
hey, John, I have one question. When you present it tomorrow, will you have like to the left our old logo and to the right our new logo, so they can visually see what it was and where it is going to be?
Yeah, generally we show it this way. We say this is the current logo, so that's there in the presentation if anybody wants to circle back. But we don't typically do it side by side. But if that pleases the PR committee.
No. We look to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think we just say we show it and we move on.
Okay, great.
I was hoping you'd have some big like animation where it like starts and then like poof, it shows the new one or something.
We have a wrap video that's in process. I'm just not sure it's going to get there tomorrow. Toby was supposed to be in studio this afternoon and he didn't show.
I was at the inauguration, my friend.
I didn't see it. Toby, there were only about 50 people there.
Oh.
No, there were thousands. They were just in military uniforms.
But I really want to look at this at the one last time. I want to make sure that you understand, that you picked up on what the committee members would like changed here.
Plus, you want to spin it back?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. We'll take 3. We will change the dimensional part to that dimensional color from 2, and then we'll add that stroke underneath.
That's it, right,
So
guys?
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay.
And then we'll do the applications, then we'll do the knockout version.
All right. Now, I guess the only thing left would be, Mr. Chairman, this is under the PR committee, I believe.
Yes.
Recommendation, so it'll come on that agenda item. And then, so you'll introduce it and then just turn it over to John, or do you want to talk through some of the slides yourself?
I most certainly do not. We can certainly talk about how we got to where we are if we need to, but I think I can introduce it and, say we've had many meetings and we've involved multiple organizations, and we can speak to that afterwards, I would imagine, of how we got to here.
No,
I assume you're going to vote tonight, right?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to entertain a motion to make the recommendation to present the logo as discussed to the village board tomorrow.
Well, no, that's not a motion to present it.
Well,
You'd have to have a motion for the board to adopt the new logo as presented.
well,
No,
we'd have
you
to
make
make
But
the
in your report,
recommendation.
you can just say, here's the logo that the PR committee has decided to present or has
Right.
elected to present to the board.
Right. So our recommendation would be
Our
three.
final recommendation
would be number 3 with the changes as presented this evening.
Well,
For the
actually,
presentation part of it, if
motion
we could
tonight.
just take a step back, I think it is important when this is presented to the full board that we start with, here's where we are today. Here is a quick, not overview, but here's a quick recap of the groups that were involved, not with how much but here is how we involved various groups and the groups that were involved, right? The BDC was involved, the PR committee led it, the staff were involved in discussions. Did we ever run this by the chamber or anybody else?
Yeah, Jeannie has had a private showing, and then I also presented it to our preparedness group.
Yeah,
so
I think those are great things to show that this was a collaborative effort. This wasn't done in a vacuum. After all of the feedback, we're excited to share with you today, not only a new logo, but a refreshed motto for the village, right? Because that's really what that tagline is. It's the motto.
Mhm.
And then I think it's, you maybe start with the motto.
Yes.
Right. And then go into the logo.
Mhm.
I don't know that if you presented that's an arrow pointing up and doing stuff. I would just
No, I'm not going to tomorrow.
I would caution because some of our board is not fluffy.
Yeah.
When it comes to like colorful, let's get artistic on it. They're just going to be down into the weeds.
Right.
And the value behind this new logo, then the applications, and then open for feedback. I would think. Jay, does that sound like?
So it sounds to me like Trustee Kelly is wanting to do the presentation tomorrow.
No, I don't do the presentation. That is what A5 does.
No. I'm saying the introduction.
That's the way
the introduction to the presentation.
Well, no, your introduction's easy, Mike. Your introduction is simply that we have decided on a final logo to present. We have A5 with us today to go through all the details, and then you just hand it over.
Okay.
Right.
The only thing I kind of like what Mike said to Aaron, not so much instead of Mike, but all three of you potentially speaking. First of all, what I was talking about a vote, I was suggesting a vote tonight, that there will be a vote tonight so that you can say, Mike, that there was this is a unanimous 3-0 recommendation from the PR committee.
Right.
And I just thought it would make some sense maybe after, but I also think part of it in my mind is making sure that they realize this is, we're all on board with this now, before they even look at it. I think we found in previous meetings, if we're just silent in the beginning, people start to pick it apart right away.
Right.
But it's a little harder to pick apart when three of you have kind of given your personal advocacy for it. How do you feel about that, Aaron?
I think that's great. I'm open for any of the process. I was just talking more on when John and A5 present, or Fletcher or Lizzie or whoever's going to do the presentation, that what that flow would look like and some of those speed traps to stay out of.
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of suggesting, is that if Mike were to say that, it's a report now, you haven't made a motion yet, but we met several times, talk a little background. I'd like to, acknowledge Trustee Koth, and then Toby, you have a couple of comments, pretty well rehearsed, I would say.
Yes, I'm just going to tell them this is what we're going with. Vote yes.
Okay, I mean, that's from you, that's perfect, I think.
No,
Really.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going to look to John.
Don't, break your leg if you don't, but, and then, Aaron, and I think everybody, appreciates your knowledge in this field. So I think for you to kind of anchor that, or maybe to make a comment and then make a motion. I'm just, thinking through, I just feel like the meetings we've had where we had advocacy, people advocating for a particular one, it's more effective when we're going to a group that hasn't seen this at all before.
Yeah, I think that works. That works well.
So I will
Follow your advice on that.
I will entertain a motion to recommend for a recommendation of logo number 3 of this H design. I don't know if we have a name for it, with the changes that we made to recommend to the village board as the official new logo of the Village of Hampshire.
Aaron, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I was waiting for you to make the motion so I could second it, but I'll go ahead and make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'm not worried. John will do a good job.
Ha.
Or
So,
Lindsay or Fletcher.
yeah, and so to that, so Mike, you'll open it tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
And then again, we'll present. But then when I end the presentation, it will be important for Aaron or Toby to say, "Hey guys, hey folks, here's what we really like about this," right? To weigh in, or for immediately, and then somebody to make that motion and then discuss. Versus back to Jay's point. Versus, I don't want to end it and say, "Anybody got any questions?"
Yeah.
Now, a point of business as far as after tomorrow, let's say it all goes swimmingly. When do we get to present? When do we get to implement this? I mean, I know that we had talked about a schedule and adoption and all this neat stuff.
Yeah, we'll. Yeah, I think we're still on track for that sort of stuff. So
We're a week late is all on the top line here.
Yeah,
That's okay.
Actually, we're right on time with tomorrow, though, presented to the village board.
Yeah.
So Jay, real quick though, with proper procedure, is it on the agenda for a board vote tomorrow?
It is on the agenda. So as long as it's on the agenda, you can vote on it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't obviously.
And I even checked with Mark. I said, do the specifics have to be on there? He said, no, just the item has to be on the agenda.
So obviously I just called myself out for not having read the agenda yet. Apologies, but.
Well, that's okay.
You took tomorrow off of work so you could spend all day studying the agenda, right?
No, that's what tonight is for, my friend, during my class.
There you go.
Yeah, and just, again, you guys have seen this through several iterations and been heavily involved. You've got 4 other elected officials. So I think, something Jay said earlier, like number 3, this H is, growing on him after he's seen it a few times. So again, I think that's why it's going to be important to, you guys made a 3-0 recommendation coming out of the PR committee. We've put this through its paces. Here's our refreshed, updated motto. And here's the recommended, logo, a number of applications. And then somebody has to be strong after that. Aaron or Toby or both.
No worries.
Okay.
I just I think the agenda is fairly light tomorrow night, but a couple of things did come in at the last minute yesterday. So let me just swing back up there. For some reason, John's picture's in the way of my cursor.
So he moves out of the way.
Yeah, just move John out of the way. Okay, so here's the agenda. And here's the A5 branding recommendation right here. So it's going to be the last thing on the agenda before the reports, but.
Okay, so it doesn't have to say a motion to approve.
No.
Okay, cool.
I confirmed that with with Mark.
Awesome.
So should we be on at 7 or a different time?
Yeah, I mean,
I would think 7:15.
can I be a little lighthearted here, Aaron?
No, it's up to you, Jay. You're
Well,
you're the one you're the one that holds all of number 6.
Yeah, I was just teasing that I was going to say there are no special service areas on the agenda.
Very funny. You wait till I vote no on this logo tomorrow.
Oh, ouch.
All right,
So
children.
having said that, I don't.
If
think
I
it'll
need to
take
stop
too
this
long.
meeting, I swear.
I would just point out to those of you on the committee that this is just a progress payment for the Highland Avenue work. So there'll be
So
some.
what if we move, Jay, what if we made a motion at the beginning to amend the agenda order and move public relations before number 6?
Well, so I'll just tell you a little bit about my agenda management style. I took several classes on that. I do try to get some of the busy work out of the way first, like the appointments. Even here, these are this presentation. This could be a little wordy, I guess. This is something that you guys asked for last time. You know what this is, right? Intersection of states. So Tim is going to have about a 6-slide presentation on that, so that might take a little while. I guess you could do that, Aaron. I'm not sure if we want to wear them out a little bit first, or we want to catch them when they're fresh. I'm revealing my tricks of the trade here.
I'm thinking it's fine where it is. I think as far as Mr. Harris is concerned, if you wanted to show up at 7:15 and join the meeting, you'd be fine.
Yeah,
And
and I'll tell you what, I'll join at 7 and I can just, turn off my screen and just monitor it, right? So I'm not far away.
And you could be out of there before the public safety report, which I know you like so much.
No, that's what I want. Yeah, no, I want to hear the public safety report. Everybody safe? Yep, everybody's safe.
Well, actually, there might
It'll
be
be a little bit different, I think.
Oh.
I'll have a different report for that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right, so I won't make a joke of it then.
Yeah, I would not. Tomorrow's not a day to make the joke.
Do you have the details, Toby?
I had the details an hour after it happened. I just
meant for public consumption if we needed to have I think it should be brought up. I haven't, has Brian posted anything on Facebook yet?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
he did
police
today.
department did, but they didn't confirm anything. They just said the details without saying a name, that they're still working on identification.
Oh, yeah.
they couldn't get any cause of death just because there wasn't enough left.
But have they even identified for sure who it was?
Yes.
Okay, I hadn't heard that yet, so
Yeah, I hadn't heard that yet either. But
I'll
that's
make sure with
good.
Brian before tomorrow night, Toby, and make sure if there's any change on that.
Yeah, he stopped in the shop today.
Okay, good. We had a missing person out here, for those of you who don't know, and we found the remains. It's been about a month now, hasn't it?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, it was before
2 months.
Yeah, it's before Christmas.
Thanksgiving, wasn't it? The day after?
Yeah, something
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
What they thought was odd is where they found him. They put up a drone yesterday afternoon to see if they could find the rest of the remains. And when that drone got up, the amount of coyotes that were bedded down, they said, was unbelievable.
No kidding, I hadn't heard that part.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I have 2 or 3 of them wandering by my house every night. And Winston is just a snack for them, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Are they coyotes, Jay, or are they women lost on golf carts?
No, they're coyotes, but they look like they're big wolves. I even Googled it when I first moved out here. There are no wolves in Illinois.
Nope.
So they're big coyotes, but they look like wolves. They're big. They're that big.
Wow.
And they're just a ton of them around here. Okay. Mr. Chairman,
right.
back.
So new business or other announcements? I don't think we have any.
Thank you, John, and your team for the work you guys did.
Well, thank you guys. That's very kind of you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
Thank
A lot
you
of
for
a lot of work put in by you guys. So thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I'm sure this is the last time you're going to want to do business with the Village of Hampshire after we put
They're
you
like,
on.
Are we done yet with this contract? Can we move on, please?
No, we have come to enjoy each and every one of our meetings. There was one meeting where I'm not so sure that was my favorite, but I think all the rest have been pretty good. And we have Jay and Josh on Friday mornings. So we yeah, and as you guys know, we got implement now. So with that schedule, we should be able to. You guys will have to make the decision on when to roll this out, but we should be ready the week of March 8th.
So I have a question off topic. Is it a requirement that you guys have to have the same glasses and a beard to work together? Is that how this works, or what?
You know, it's been after 25 years, we just sort of, you know, like we're slowly our looks are merging.
You're morphing together. Like having too easy to look at during these meetings.
I still gotta work on the hair.
John, you can fluff it all you want.
It doesn't work. I know. I know.
Thick as his.
I know, Toby. I know.
Jim,
All right.
what's the process of starting a censure for our PR committee chairman for talking poorly to our partners here? How do we do that? Is that a vote, or probably needs to be on the agenda?
We are recording the meeting.
Fantastic. All right, guys. Well, I really appreciate everything that you've done. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Entertain a
Thank you.
motion to adjourn.
I'll make your motion.
Okay. Toby?
Mike, just a reminder to take a roll call vote whenever we're on video.
Oh, okay. Mr. Kelly, do you want to second it? He left already, so I will second. Roll call vote, please, would be me. So Toby, Koth, Mr. Koth,
Aye.
and Mr. Reed. Aye. All right. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.